have a visual on a fast-moving object entering the lunar sector. High velocity. Trajectory suggests imminent lunar impact. Sector 4G. Look at the size of that thing. Impact in 3, 2, 1...
Ready for the storm.
Houston, we have a problem.
This is Jupiter. It's a planet, as I'm sure you've heard. It's one of the gas giants. I didn't really know very much about Jupiter or much about anything in outer space until I started recording the sky using my camera. But you can see this here. Jupiter looks really cool. It seems to have waves running through it, there's a flickering within it, and it looks a lot like a glowing light. This is Venus. Venus is the second planet from the Sun. It's the second brightest natural object in the night sky after the Moon. Here's Venus slowed down a bit. Venus seems to have waves running through it too. Venus isn't the only object in the sky that does this though. So let's look at a few stars. This is Vega. It's the fifth brightest star in the night sky, and it's the second brightest star in the northern hemisphere, which is where I'm at in the United States. But just look at it. There are some really unique colors in there. It also looks like it's pulsing and waving and moving around inside of it. It also has these ring-looking things going around inside of it from its center to the edges. So this is Arcturus. Arcturus looks like a disco ball with so many amazing colors flashing inside of it. Arcturus is the fourth brightest star in the sky and the brightest star in the northern celestial hemisphere. I'm curious if you've ever seen recordings of planets or stars in the night sky like what I just showed you. Because there's no doubt the moon looks the same as what you've probably seen, but when it comes to planets and stars, I bet that you've primarily seen images like these. I think it's odd how different these online images look. I just wish that some of the normal observations came up at the top of some of the online searches I do.
Take a look here again at NASA's official website, where it states Hubble captures vivid auroras in Jupiter's atmosphere. Here's the problem: the date of June 30th, 2016. Now take a look at this. Another so-called official image of Jupiter. This one's from back in 2014. See the problem here? Now let's take a closer look at the supposed two images provided from NASA of Jupiter. Here's the problem again: 2016, 2014. What's the difference here? Well, the difference is added the supposed auroras on the north, and this is nothing but a Christmas tree. Give me a break. Take a look here. I mean, all the clouds are in the same exact position. Just the 2016 image is a bit, I would say, darker. It's a bit lighter in 2014. Here's a side-by-side. Supposed clouds moving at the speeds they supposedly do, and they get the same exact image 2 years apart. Not possible.
Okay, so I really found this interesting and thought I would share. This is a video on NASA's website. If you ever want a good laugh, go visit NASA's website and look at the videos, pictures they put on there. Just see if you see anything wrong with this. I'll make it bigger. See if there's anything wrong with this picture. Is there anything that bothers you about that? Anything that looks overly fake about that? What bothers me is none of these clouds move. First of all, none of them at all, anywhere. Find one that changes shape, changes form. This is over a 5 or 6 hour time lapse, maybe more. The ones that look like they should spin don't spin. The holes don't get bigger or smaller.
Well, space fanatics, we've got some exciting news for you. Some of the craters and mountains on Pluto's largest moon, Charon, have been officially named. Up until July 2015, Pluto's largest moon, Charon, was just a pixel in terms of what we actually knew about it. Well, that all changed when NASA's New Horizons spacecraft set off through space to analyze the planet, revealing craters, deep crevices, valleys, and mountains on the distant moon, surface features that now have formal names.
So yes, at the same time, I'm criticizing and thinking that their video, their animation doesn't even look real. But I'm also still wondering why we just don't have more videos by NASA of outer space itself. But there are some recordings out there. There's the Cassini spacecraft out there near Saturn that recently plunged into Saturn. And then there is the Juno spacecraft observing Jupiter. But I'm sorry, all of these look like CGI images. They just don't look real.
Space may be the final frontier, but it's made in a Hollywood basement.
NASA, we're coming for you. For 60 years, you've been faking space. There are no spheres in the heavens. The experts have devised them in the imagination so it was easier to understand their movements. So what's that mean? Well, it means stars are not distant. Guilty of a cover-up the likes of which has never been seen in human history. Everything, and I mean everything that we were taught about space, about the planets, about the orbits is a hoax. It's a lie. That means our entire idea of the cosmos isn't just wrong, it's very wrong, astronomically wrong.
We've been lied to about pretty much everything related to space. If you are on the fence, I hope that I may present enough evidence here today that you'll go out and conduct your own investigation. No one has ever been to space, but the media has molded humanity into a society of myopic space lovers who will defend space's honor to their dying breath. It's not a question about how much proof we have evincing that Apollo missions in space are fake. The real question is whether you will look. Here is one of the earliest attempts at faking space. The flight was in 1962, and yes, this was passed off as legitimate footage. I do find it interesting how we were supposedly taking astronauts into these craft as early as 1962. But this part is the best. Here's the so-called footage from space. Let's look at that one more time. Obviously, the level of fakery has gotten much better since the 1960s, but mistakes are still being made. The proof isn't what NASA got right. The proof is what NASA got wrong. Because if NASA faked any of it, then we rightfully should assume that NASA faked all of it.
First up, we get a toy model International Space Station rise up
behind the space shuttle. Even the astronaut narrating this has a chuckle at the end of his sentence, and I don't blame him. Listen for his chuckle and pay particular attention to the lovely model that rises up here behind the space shuttle. Let's have a look.
See the space station starting to come up along the sides, and Bell tell he did such a great job flying it. You can't even see the center of the station in the view there. It's right up the center of the tail.
Next up, we've got a car battery satellite and 2 space mannequins.
For its motion, for its speed, for its direction, for the modes, getting ready to make the capture. Now, I have to remind everybody.
I need to remind you, my dear man, that footage is shocking, has aged terribly. The satellite looks like a car battery, and the 2 so-called astronauts just look like mannequins. Dummies. And of course the footage, dear oh dear.
And in the pilot seat during this operation, sort of monitoring the motion of the vehicle, making sure that it was steady and that there were very few vibrations of any sort. This is a picture of the INSAT actually being deployed from the spacecraft. You can see that the deploy went very smoothly. At the moment of...
Did you see it in the background? There was a guy in the background, man. I'm not kidding you. You can't deny that that's someone in the background. There's a guy moving in the background.
Today Elon Musk's SpaceX are going to give the game away. This time it's the Cargo Dragon capsule, supposedly leaving the ISS. What we get to see though when we look at the footage, which we're gonna in a second, what appears the Dragon capsule appears to be a ghost spaceship. And as it gets a certain distance away from the ISS, the Dragon capsule then totally disappears, leaving just the lights in heliocentric space. Let's have a look. Terrible. Look here. It's a ghost spaceship.
Physical separation confirmed.
All hooks are now open, and Dragon departed the space station at 8:12 with physical separation. You're getting a live
physical separation
view of it inching away now.
Now get ready for it. The body of the Dragon capsule that appears to be like a ghost spaceship is going to totally disappear from the screen here in a minute, leaving just the lights. Oops.
Dragon undocked at 8:12 while the International Space Station was flying over the Pacific Ocean.
What's going on here, guys? Elon, what's happened, fella? It would seem the special effects department have kind of stitched you up here with your ghost Dragon spaceship. Even the commentator's struggling to compose herself here as this thing disappears and flashes on and off. Dear oh dear.
One of the biggest mistakes people generally make, and I'm guilty of it too, is wishful thinking. You know, like you want something to be true, even if it isn't true. And so you ignore the things that, you ignore the real truth because of what you want to be true. This is a very difficult trap to avoid.
It's all across America. Thousands and thousands of students who are learning. They're learning about space flight.
Wouldn't that be nice? Can you believe that space is going to do that?
NASA does what they can to teach you about something you'll never experience. And they force it down your throat as if it is part of your experience. And people have adopted it as if space travel is part of their experience, as if orbits are part of your experience, as if satellites are part of your experience. Because of the research I've done, it clearly shows me that these things are not legit. And I think people need to really take the time to look into satellites, for instance, just as an example. That, yeah, we're told satellites exist. We're told what they do.
Welcome to the satellite hoax.
Alright, let's do this. Hard pill to take when somebody says that satellites could be fake. But don't you find it a little suspicious that you can't find any real satellite pictures? It might be hard to believe, but maybe we're all being deceived. Yeah, maybe. What's up?
You know, how are there satellites and a space station in the thermosphere layer of the atmosphere when the temperature gets up to 2,000 degrees Celsius? And that's when everything clicked. I remembered, oh wow, I remembered from astronomy, my professor talking about the temperature in the thermosphere. And I remember her taking a marker like this and holding it out, and held it in front of the class like this, and she said, the temperature in the thermosphere layer of the atmosphere is upwards of 2,000 degrees Celsius, or can get up to upwards of 2,000 degrees Celsius. But at the time, I didn't put two and two together and realize that that's where the majority of LEO, which are low Earth orbit satellites, and the International Space Station and the Space Shuttle used to be. You know, where they used to, or the Space Shuttle used to be, but everything else orbits the Earth. And so, when that hit me, I said, wait a second, this can't be.
How could satellites be in a thermosphere when the temperature up there is way too severe? How can that type of equipment survive? How comes those satellites aren't burned alive? I'm telling you, man, it's just a pack of lies. There ain't no orbiting satellites because 99% of our communication comes from undersea cables and cell tower stations. A GPS is ground-based too, man.
Where you see astronauts on a space station or out on a spacewalk, you think it's there. So all these questions about the physics go right out the window. I mean, at least they did for me. But then when I say, well, wait a second, what if they're faking it? Then all of this comes roaring back. And you put the two together, and it really starts to seem like we're being lied to here. And I have to admit, it broke my heart when I realized all this, when all this clicked for me. Logic, I'm not going to let my emotions overpower my logic, because then I'm just lying to myself. And that's just silly. And I really hope that most people out there aren't doing that.
Now before all of y'all start getting pissed, I ain't saying that satellites don't exist. I'm saying that it's theoretically absurd to think these devices orbit the Earth. Cause I've seen them hanging from big balloons. Even Google's doing it too now, man. Have you seen that? And every now and then a satellite crashes, but that information never gets to the masses. Cause then you find out how these things really work. They're just on balloons, man. They don't orbit the Earth. Cause once upon a time, one crashed in Brazil with the balloon attached to its steel. Welcome to the satellite folks. Just another one of them NASA jokes. If I be a picture of satellite without bringing up a bunch of that CGI, just a bunch of cartoons all over the place. When I search satellites in space.
I looked up satellites online, and the satellites are all CGI, or fake-looking images, when I search them. That doesn't prove anything, but it's another place where primarily CGI images are found when you start researching this kind of stuff. And I do think there's a lot more CGI out there.
tell it's real because it looks so fake.
But how else could they be doing this? Well, it could be more special effects and likely something called augmented reality and or green screens. And this is what it looks like. This is an actual video that NASA did. They meant to do this. This is an example of augmented reality. And then there are chroma key screens. So outside of green screens, there are also blue screens. And that's what you're seeing right here. You're seeing the former president being pushed through this NASA area, and behind him is Tim Peake, an astronaut, with what looks like a blue screen, a chroma key screen right behind him. And do you see the green ball? I mean, we can compare footage around that same time compared to what was caught on camera, and you can see it's the same background. It looks like the same deal. And I've only ever found one other video that's ever shown this same checkered blue screen. This is that one other video that I'm showing you right here. But how coincidental is it that they use this blue checkered background, which is extremely similar to ORAD virtual set technology? I mean, this is the kind of stuff you can do on a budget right here, this video. Now here's something else from the ISS. Look at this card floating. This is directly from NASA's YouTube channel. This card, it just doesn't look real. Is there an air conditioner on up there? I mean, look at it. It looks like they're doing everything they can not to laugh.
Okay, to pull this off, you need to have a stage prop, and the stage prop here is a hall section of the ISS. Also, you need on a separate video layer objects in virtual space that can move around by software, such as the paper on the wall, the netting there on the back, this contraption here on the right wall, and there's some boxes, something bungee corded above there. Now, all those objects are on a separate virtual layer, so they can be manipulated by software to look as if they are floating around. And of course, our three stooges here who are pretending to be astronauts, these guys are also on a separate video layer. And what makes it even worse, they're not even in the same room together. Thanks to the technology of telemetrics, which can bring people in from all over the place and put them in a virtual reality environment. So what you're about to see, if the camera that contains the virtual reality layer, okay, glitches out, okay, or has maybe compression errors, then that layer will also glitch out, and this is exactly what we're going to see now.
Thank you very much again. Thank you for your time. Have a good flight and many more exciting experiments on the orbit. Thanks a lot.
Now, when they said goodbye, I guess the virtual reality camera was cut off. And so the objects that were on the virtual reality layer, the objects that needed to be floated in space by 3D software, vanish out. I want you to notice the hull, the other camera, the stage prop, the hull of the ISS, stays perfectly in focus. If this had been a compression error from the ISS, the whole video would have washed out. But only the virtual reality layer gets washed out here. Also note, you can see the green screen behind the guy right about here. When he's there, it is the green screen right there behind him starts to show, and then they cut to mission control.
Crazy for not thinking this
As you can clearly see, NASA is using green and blue screen technology to make us believe that these liars or actonauts are actually flying around the Earth in a tin can. By the way, these are just a few examples. There are literally hundreds more to be found. Losing a digital signal or packet loss, jitters, latency, etc. looks like this and usually affects the whole screen, i.e. the whole transmission. As you can see from the clips, with chroma key technology, it's only the actors and props that are affected. The background green screen always stays sharp. The evidence is so overwhelming.
And all of that happened in a little town called York, Maine, across the United States from where we're talking to you right now. Across the United States from where we're talking to you right now.
Across the United States from where we're talking to you right now.
Things are looking good. Coming up on entry.
The world held its breath. Curiosity had touched the Martian atmosphere.
Separation. We have seen peak deceleration. That is starting its first bank reversal. It is reporting that we are seeing G's on the order of 11 to 12 Earth G's. Bank reversal 2 is starting. We are now getting telemetry from Odyssey. We should have correction deploy around Mach 1.7.
When it opens up that fast, it's a neck-snapping 9 Gs.
Immediately, they had to blow off the heat shield, or the onboard radar couldn't see the ground.
Another interesting aspect of space travel is that it's not possible because thrust and combustion are not viable in a vacuum. Let's review a couple of experiments in a vacuum chamber that prove what I am talking about. First experiment, thrust in a vacuum.
You see when I turn the fan on, it blows the feather all over the place. This is, of course, at atmospheric pressure right now. So since we're at Martian air pressure, let's unplug the vacuum pump and let's turn on this fan. Now place your bets as to what's going to happen to this feather. Let's see what happens. Okay, fan's on. And the feather's not moving. In fact, let's zoom in on that.
Thrust does not work in a vacuum, and thrust would be needed to traverse outer space.
This big, huge parachute that we've got, it'll only slow us down to about 200 miles an hour. And that's not slow enough to land. So we have no choice, but we've got to cut it off and then come down in rockets.
We are in powered flight.
Second experiment, combustion in a vacuum.
This is a mixture of sugar, potassium nitrate, and iron oxide. This is used in amateur rockets because the ingredients are readily available and the amount of thrust it produces is quite high. So let's light this on fire and see how it does. So this is in Earth atmosphere. As you can see, it burns rather rapidly, producing a little bit of thrust even. As you can see towards the end, it moved it around. So now let's try it inside of a vacuum. No ignition. That's interesting.
Combustion does not work in a vacuum. This is a very big deal. Space travel falls on its face and breaks it, then dies with these two vacuum chamber experiments.
20 meters above the surface, Curiosity was lowered on a 6.5-meter tether. This should deposit the rover gently on the surface. Landing on another planet is not yet an exact science.
Standing by for Sky Crane. Sky Crane has started.
Signal to us, you remain strong.
Finally, the descent stage had to blast away from the rover to avoid crashing on top of it.
Touchdown confirmed. We're safe on Mars.
At 22:31 Pacific Daylight Time, Curiosity made a perfect landing on the surface of Mars. And while thousands celebrated 570 million kilometers away on Earth, she sent a picture to show all was well.
Got thumbnail.
For Curiosity, the landing was just the beginning.
I am terribly humbled by this experience. I, forever, secretly, have felt that I do not deserve to be in the position of leading the team that I lead.
Adam, tell us about the landing.
All right, Greg. I can't tell you too much about it. I mean, it looks good. I'm being a little flip. In short, it looked extremely clean.
So there I was, just minding my own business, looking at Google Earth, and this big, snow-covered monstrosity is staring me in the face like, why is that covered in snow? I look into Ireland and some other areas around it, Iceland. Ireland gets snow only once a year, one day a year. So I keep digging a little bit deeper, and I finally get underneath this cloud cover here, and a few images pop up. And I say, oh, images, what are they? Well, this is what you got, which I'm sure that looks familiar to you, right? Looks just like the pictures they give us of Mars. So I'm just kind of creeping around here and definitely noticing the same kind of undulation changes and same kind of rock, same kind of dirt. Only thing that's missing is that nice little red tint that they pay somebody $150,000 a year to put on there.
We touched down in conditions that were on the more benign side of our nominal expectation. Our, by the way, I want to preface everything. This is preliminary data scooped with the sieve in the cacophony of the control room during the celebration, right? And largely by my good friend Miguel San Martin, who's somewhere out there. I hope. At any rate.
So, that was all that picture had. Let's see what this one's got. So this one here said, roving the Arctic. So what is that? That doesn't make any sense. Pop in here. See if we can find anything. Again, same kind of mountains. That looks like the same kind of water I've seen before that I thought was water on Mars. Who knows? Zoom in, what's that? Oh, nothing. Just looked like it was funny. So I'll keep kind of going through here and see if it... What the... Yeah. So. I think I found out where Mars is, guys.
Very nominal. Remarkably good. Our navigation error was on the low side of our expectation. Our powered flight appears to have been excellent. If my good friend Ben Toma is in the house, is Ben in the house? So it looked good, in short. Good and clean. And it looks, at least by my eyeball, that we landed in a nice flat spot. Beautiful. Really beautiful.
What kind of file type, can you tell us about the image file type and compression that was used to send this very important couple of thumbnails back from Mars?
Yes, unfortunately I absolutely cannot. If Justin Mackey is in the room, or there's a couple other people on the team who'd be able to whip that out quickly, but I couldn't tell you. Sorry.
All right, let's check out some of these other pictures. I saw another one over here. This one says Drill Hill. All right. Let's go in here. Totally looks like the Mars terrain to me. Just need the red filter. Let's see, can we find anything? I just see the mountains. There's the road like we saw on last Monday. I bet you these guys are just scamming us. Nothing this whole way. Definitely looks like Mars terrain, though. Alright, let's head back this way. Yeah, if you go look at Mars pictures, go to Gigapan or any site that has, you can even go to nasa.gov and look at all their Mars frauds. Check out those images, they're identical to these. Yeah, just very empty here. Oh, there's one of those ATVs. Alright, now we're on something. Oh, I got another truck. Oh yeah, it says NASA. What's that say? Mars Project?
Neil Enright from Irish Television. The Unmanned Spaceflight website has coordinates for the landing that go down to something like 5 decimal points. I just wanted to confirm with you that you do have those sort of coordinates. And am I reading those coordinates correctly when I see that it looks as though you've landed within 500 meters of the skirt around the mountain? That, I mean, you're really very close to the mountain at the closer end in the landing ellipse, and possibly within striking distance of the phyllosilicate trench.
I can't confirm that. My estimate, I'm looking for somebody, yes, there's somebody in the audience here who has that in the tip of their noggin. We should have soon that estimate, but I don't have it to 5 decimal places. We wouldn't report it to that because we're certain that we don't know it to that. And I don't know what the unmannedspaceflight.com estimate is.
Expect everything up here in microgravity to float because most everything does float. However, sometimes something a little different happens. Sometimes you just might find a little pocket of gravity.
There's a whole new world up there. Zero gravity. It's now zero gravity.
So many times during spacewalks outside the International Space Station, we can see air bubbles rising up. Can you touch on how there are air bubbles in space?
Can you be more specific? Air bubbles?
So yeah, like a lot of times during the footage, the NASA footage, you can see bubbles coming up out of the helmets or kind of from underneath you. How do you explain bubbles in space?
Yeah, I'm not sure exactly what you're talking about. Now sometimes you get water in the helmet, and it's either from sweat or from the cooling garments.
Look at me, Ma, I'm floating in space. No, you're not. You're lying to the human race. Well, another thing I noticed when I looked at these fools, they're filming spacewalks in buoyancy pools. NASA's gonna tell you that it's just for training, to practice for space station maintaining. Well, I thought about that, but if that's the case, then why the hell can I see bubbles in space? Take a hard look at the next spacewalk. Tell me if you can see bubbles at all. Open your eyes, man, I'll bet you a quarter. Those spacewalks are filmed underwater. I can see space bubbles everywhere. Hey, NASA, how the hell did those get there?
Often on the outside of the space station, you'll liberate little pieces of, it's a really harsh environment out there, and the outside of the space station gets beat up pretty good. And sometimes, you'll see just little flecks of paint or something that you might have disrupted floating away from the suit. And, that's generally what that is. I've never seen any kind of air bubble anywhere.
Yeah. Could it be that you're filming in an underwater pool and you're not really out there?
You got us.
All right, well, I just encourage everyone to look up Bubbles in Space, hashtag Bubbles in Space. Thank you very much. Thank you.
In a time of universal deceit, telling the truth is a revolutionary act. Despite the advanced technologies of multi-layered, computer-generated images, NASA is still unable to remove bubbles in space. Bubbles in space. This summer, get ready for the revelation so unbelievable that only the most observant, perceptive, unbiased will figure it out. Bubbles, bubbles, bubbles in space. Bubbles in Space starts today at theaters everywhere.
Descend into the clearest water I've ever seen, and it looks like an underwater movie set. The pool is a staggering 40 feet deep, and everywhere I look are full-size replica sections of the International Space Station.
So many of us have thought that they are doing spacewalks in a pool, mostly because we see bubbles and a scuba tank in one video. But there are so many other things about their practice sessions that bother me. Now, when watching this footage, I saw them close this big door into some sort of a black room, and I figured I'd look around for more. And I did find some interesting footage that looks like it was taken in some sort of a blackened out pool. Then I saw this one with what looks like a ball Earth showing behind this astronaut.
Houston, we have a problem.
And if you look, you'll see here's an editing room or a TV room. And this kind of activity is just not even needed, unless, of course, you're doing some sort of professional editing. Now, what kind of edits could they possibly be doing? So I believe they're actually editing photos. But also, they're faking space.
After looking over all of the information and evidence surrounding our explorations into outer space, the moon landings, and what science teaches me about it all, based on what I can actually observe and prove myself, I'm now at the point where I don't believe we ever went to the moon. I don't believe we've gone to outer space in the way that they tell us. I don't believe an International Space Station is orbiting the Earth. I don't believe it's possible. And there are many more extremely compelling reasons why I believe this, beyond the limited information that I've presented so far here. But I want to pause before moving on, because this information may be new to you, and that can make it hard to believe or even consider. You may be laughing at me right now, or wondering when Dave lost his mind and went full conspiracy theorist. I used to think that it was crazy before I started researching all of this. But what if it was possible? What if what you've been told was not the truth? Or maybe it was full of half-truths? Would it be the first time that someone lied to you? Would it be the first time that your government lied to you? It's easy for me to say that, especially when you may be thinking the opposite. But no matter what, I'm the one making these claims, so I need to present more information to show how all of the pieces could fit.
All NASA's faking everything that you have ever seen. The NASA's flying to the moon, well, they ain't never been. Indeed, my friend, their lying scum is there for you to see. Just take some time, look into it, and the truth will set you free.
Thus saith the Lord thy Redeemer, and he that formed thee from the womb. I am the Lord that maketh all things, that stretcheth forth the heavens alone, that spreadeth abroad the earth by myself. Since thou wast precious in my sight, I have loved thee. Even I am he that blotteth out thy transgressions, and will not remember thy sins. Look unto me and be ye saved, all the ends of the earth. For I am God, and there is none else.
It doesn't matter who you are or what you've done. God loves you. You may not believe that He exists, but it doesn't change the fact that God is real. His love for you is real. He stands in heaven with His arms open wide in love, waiting for you to come to Him by faith and accept Him as your personal Savior. The most famous Bible verse of all time is John 3:16. For God so loved the world that He gave His only begotten Son, that whosoever believeth in Him should not perish, but have everlasting life. Jesus Christ, the perfect Son of God, was born of a virgin. He was born to die and take away the sins of the world. He lived 33 and a half sinless years, teaching and preaching truth. He touched the sick and made the lame to walk again. Many believed on Him and were healed of their incurable diseases. But He was hated by the Pharisees and betrayed. They mocked and ridiculed Him. They falsely accused Him and convinced Pontius Pilate that He was worthy of death. Jesus was whipped mercilessly with the cat of nine tails, an instrument of torture that had bits of metal and stone woven into its leather strips. But He endured all of the suffering and agony because of His love for us. They made a crown of thorns and pressed it down into His skull. They cried out, "Crucify Him! Crucify Him!" But this was all a part of God's loving plan of salvation. Jesus courageously went up Mount Calvary outside of Jerusalem and was nailed to an old rugged cross. Hereby perceive we the love of God, because He laid down His life for us. He willingly gave Himself as a sacrifice and shed His blood to take our punishment and rescue us from hell. It was my sins and yours that nailed Him to that tree. And I believe there was a specific moment as He hung there on the cross when He literally thought of you. He loved you, and He died for you. 3 days later, He victoriously rose again from the grave, and now He offers salvation. The Bible says in Romans 6:23, "For the wages of sin is death." That's the bad news. But the gift of God is eternal life through Jesus Christ our Lord. This is the good news. Through what Jesus did on the cross, God has a gift for you. It's eternal life with Him in heaven. Of course, a gift is something that's freely given out of love. You can't work for it, you can't earn it. If you did, it wouldn't be a gift. Someone else pays the price and then offers it to you. But you have a choice to make. to receive it or reject it. The gift that God offers you is eternal life in heaven. Eternal life can't be bought or earned by being baptized, giving money away, or going to church. There's no amount of good deeds that you could do to outweigh your bad and get you into heaven. It's only through Jesus. He's paid the price. God's word plainly says, "For by grace are ye saved through faith, and that not of yourselves. It is the gift of God, not of works." Jesus declares, "I am the way, the truth, and the life. No man cometh unto the Father but by me." And Acts 4:12 proclaims, "For there is none other name under heaven given among men whereby we must be saved." It's only Jesus.
Ready for the storm.
Well, we really appreciate you spending some time with us. We know you're coming to the end of your stay up there, and you have very little time, and you're real busy. But we just wanted to ask you a couple questions. You know, one thing that's been going on down here is we've really been enjoying this great photography, these images you've been sending down, and it almost looks like it's science fiction or some kind of Hollywood stuff. But there's no way anyone could imagine this, of how beautiful it is. And so we're wondering, how did you do this? Well, how do you get those great shots that you've been getting up?
Well, first of all, it started with some good equipment that we have, and particularly the low light stuff. It's the D3 camera has some really amazing low light capabilities, and then it was good training. The training team at JSC, I told them I was interested in this kind of stuff, and so we worked on it some. I started with the training and the procedures up here, and then I started practicing, and that's one of the great things about a long duration mission. On a shuttle mission, you're good if you can point a camera to the window and take a few snapshots.
Yeah, because the nighttime imagery is so amazing, because it's so hard to get. Up until now, you know, recently that you've been able to do it like this, you see all these beautiful scenes during the day that we can get because there's plenty of light, and you can see it with your eye. You know, at nighttime it's like this magical place. It's like this magical place. It's like this magical place. It almost looks like it's science fiction or some kind of Hollywood stuff. It's like this magical place. It almost looks like it's science fiction or some kind of Hollywood stuff.
When Allen Dulles brought in all the Nazi scientists and so forth, they went to two places. They went to CIA, and they went to the National Aeronautics and Space Administration, which in our world we call it not a space agency.
It's like this magical place. It almost looks like it's science fiction or some kind of Hollywood stuff.
Good. Hey, how you doing? How's Bubbles in Space doing? How's what? Bubbles in Space? Bubbles in Space? Yeah. I don't know what that is. No? You Mr. Kelly? Yeah. Oh, yeah? You don't remember the question from Tampa about the bubbles in space coming up from the helmets? No. Yeah, you guys are in an underwater pool, remember? We know. Just remember.
What's up, man? Can you sideline the hashtag bubbles in space?
Hashtag bubbles in space?
Bubbles in space, brother. What's your word on it?
What is that?
Yeah, you were asked that 2 times in the past couple months, actually, about bubbles coming out in the spacewalks.
Oh, you're that guy.
I'm not that guy. I'm one of those guys.
Yeah, I'm
though,
not going to write that.
And then,
Thank you so much.
There you go.
astronauts on harnesses as well. Anything to say about that?
Do I have anything to say about it?
Yeah.
I have anything you want me to say about it. What do you want me to say?
Whatever your thoughts are. I just want your honest opinion.
About what?
There's video evidence of guys hanging from harnesses in the International Space Station.
So keep going. There's a very long line. Thank you so much. Can you please step forward? Thank you so much.
And in case there are any conspiracy theorists out there, how would you prove to us that you're in zero gravity?
Well, let me tell you something about the space station. It's only really there in your imagination. That thing ain't real. It's science fiction. It's there to feed your space addiction. Those astronauts are not in space. It's written all over their stupid face. See, I can spot a lie from 100 miles. And I can spot a fraud from the way they smile. Didn't you learn nothing from the fake moon missing that puppet show from President Nixon? Well, listen up, they're doing it again, it seems. Check out the harnesses and green screens. I used to work a lot in film and TV. I know a bit about the television trickery to create the illusion that you're somewhere that you're not. A green screen is what you're gonna use a lot. Or if you wear a harness and attach it to the ceiling, the illusion that you're floating is what they'll be believing. All you're watching is a puppet show, yeah, the whole world's a stage. Astronauts, they're actors, of course, and yeah, they all get paid. Look at me, Ma, I'm floating in space. No, you're not, you're lying to the human race.
Sweet, Ronnie, family, and Peter, good to see you. Hey, welcome aboard, everybody. Welcome to our little zero-G fantasy land. Welcome to our little zero-G fantasy land. Fantasy land. Fantasy land. Your eyes, your eyes. Your eyes, your eyes. There you go, playing your song way up here, I think. Your eyes, your eyes, your eyes.
groundbreaking spaceflight, what's being called the dawn of a new space age. Billionaire Richard Branson, now the first person to reach the edge of space in his very own spacecraft.
To all you kids down there, I was once a child with a dream, looking up to the stars. Now I'm an adult in a spaceship. Oh, this is unbelievable. This is too unbelievable. This is too unbelievable. This is too unbelievable.
7, 6, 5, 4. Command engine start. 2, 1.
And New Shepard has cleared the tower on her way to space.
Go, guys! Okay. Oh, wow. Oh, wow. Oh, wow. That's incredible. To space. Unbelievable. Is it everything you thought it would be? Here, look. Oliver. Move your head just a little. Oh, that's great! Can you move your head a little while it flies?
Oh, yeah. Hi, Mom! I love it.
Oh, wow. Look at the blackness of space.
Everything you saw take place in the video that they presented us with can easily be achieved by doing parabolic maneuvers in an airplane specially designed for such parabolic maneuvers. Now, once you do these parabolic maneuvers, anyone inside the aircraft at the time is going to experience quote-unquote weightlessness, or what it would be like in a zero-gravity environment. What's really going on is a person is free falling because the airplane is dipping its nose down and then tipping the nose back up and then dipping the nose down and tipping the nose back up.
So let me tell you something about a zero-G plane. This thing flies up and then down again. Some weird stuff happens if you're on the inside. You start to float as the plane takes a dive. Simply add an actor that's trained to deceive, and you got yourself an astronaut, or so you believe. So when you see an astronaut aboard the ISS, take another look at your TV set. They're pretty good at faking, so you gotta look close. Pay some attention to the way the actor floats. If you ask me, that ain't zero gravity, but Hollywood effects that I see on my TV. Take a good look at the whole damn thing. These lying bastards are just puppets on a string. It's all a big science fiction puppet show. The game's up, assholes, cause we all know. Thanks for the show, NASA. It's been a blast. Now take your fake station and shove it up your... All you're watching is a puppet show. Yeah, the whole world's a stage. Astronauts, they're actors, of course, and yeah, they all get paid. Look at me, Ma, I'm floating in space. No, you're not, you're lying to the whole human race.
Did you know that NASA has hundreds of these satellite balloons up in the air right now? Google and many other companies have fleets of these balloons as well. Look up Project Loon. The fact that NASA and its subsidiaries hardly discuss these so-called satellites was a huge proof for me, because it evinces a deliberate effort to conceal the fact that space satellites don't exist. The whitewash of these balloon satellites is evidence that they are lying about space satellites. These high-altitude balloons can carry 8,000 pounds and include telescopes, radar equipment, communications equipment, internet, etc. Here's one that almost killed some people. Finally, look at these actual NASA videos of satellites. They are manifestly fake. Look at this one. Look at this one. Look at this one. Look at this one. Look at this one.
Let's go over a timeline that I made. I tried to keep it as simple as possible. Alright, so in 1915, NACA was founded, the National Advisory Committee for Aeronautics. NACA was established by the federal government, and their mission statement was, "It shall be the duty of the Advisory Committee for Aeronautics to supervise and direct the scientific study of the problems of flight with a view to their practical solution." In 1923, Disney was founded. Walt Disney, of course, grew up in the Demolay, a young boy's version of Masonry. It's pretty clear that Disney and NASA are connected.
Buzz, I can't believe you were actually in space!
Yeah, it's true. I was the first space ranger to visit the International Space Station.
Way to go, Buzzarino!
Let me show you.
It was a fantastic program between NASA and Disney to send Buzz up and did a tremendous education program, you know, for children all over the world, and I was so proud.
Continuing on, in 1936, JPL, the Jet Propulsion Laboratory, was founded, in part by Jack Parsons, an avid follower of Aleister Crowley and a member of his fraternal organization, the OTO, Ordo Templi Orientis.
During the 1930s and 1940s, the OTO Lodge in California was headed by a brilliant young rocket designer called Jack Parsons. Jack Parsons developed patented rocket technology, which is still in use by NASA to this day. NASA named a crater on the dark side of the moon in honor of Jack Parsons. Jack Parsons worked during the day to develop rocket propulsion systems which would serve NASA's space program, which was controlled by ex-Nazi SS officers such as Wernher von Braun, who had been brought to the USA by the CIA's Project Paperclip. At night, Jack Parsons would hold sex magic rituals in his house in Pasadena.
Jack Parsons also hung out with L. Ron Hubbard, the founder of the Church of Scientology, which holds sci-fi-like religious beliefs, including the belief of a galactic dictator named Xenu. Jack Parsons and L. Ron Hubbard both practiced black magic and participated in sex magic rituals together. In 1954, Walt Disney and the father of rocket technology in the United States, Wernher von Braun, meet and make 3 films about space exploration. One was called Man in Space.
Here to introduce you to this new series is Walt Disney.
In our modern world, everywhere we look, we see the influence science has upon our daily lives. Discoveries that were miracles a few short years ago are accepted as commonplace today. Many of the things that seem impossible now will become realities tomorrow.
Walt Disney was fascinated by rockets. Which in the occult circles are modern-day obelisks. Obelisks are erected all over the Earth plane, and they symbolize domination, power, and political authority. The word obelisk translates to ball's shaft. Therefore, an obelisk is a penis. Just a couple years later, in 1958, NACA is transformed into NASA. And the space program begins with projects like Mercury and Gemini.
The Vector, NASA's official logo. If you've ever looked at NASA's official logo, both their official insignia and their official seal, you'll see that the most prominent object in the seal is a red swooshing object. They call that the chevron. Or if you ask NASA's Public Affairs Office, this symbology is featured so heavily in their insignia and seal, they'll give you what really amounts to the standard facile cover story for the unilluminated. They'll tell you that that is a representation of a hypersonic wing design from the 1950s, which was the time the logo was created. Not exactly the case. Someone might want to ask the Russian Federal Space Agency, Roscosmos, that was formed in 1992, why they chose that same logo. And while you're at it, you can go ask the Chinese, who formed their space agency in 1996, why in the world they're using a hypersonic wing design from the 1950s as their official logo. Then you can ask the Japanese, the South Koreans, Taiwanese, Malaysia, Mexico, Iran, all of these countries, even Bulgaria. They all utilize the vector symbology in their space agency logos for their national space agencies. It gets even deeper, and it carries on to the space shuttle program. If you look at the Apollo logo has a big letter A in it. At least that's what they want you to believe, but it's not. Again, that's just a simple way of explaining away the inclusion of this vector symbology in the logo. If you go to the Space Shuttle program, the original Space Shuttle STS program patch is a triangular patch that, again, hides the use of the chevronic vector symbology. And that also goes for many of the STS-specific mission patches. Every single one of the International Space Station expedition patches carry the vector symbology. The Russian Mir space station used the vector symbology. That was their official logo. You can even go deeper and look at military-industrial complex companies. Look at the logo on a company like Lockheed Martin, 2 vectors. The X-Prize logo, Ames Research Labs, U.S. Space Command. When you get into the military realm, the United States Space Command, their official logo is the vector symbol. And when you look at the military's individual space-specific programs, all of them deal with vector symbology in their official insignias. And the question really becomes, who or what are these people paying homage to? And the truth, quite frankly, is out of this world.
In 1966, filmmaker Stanley Kubrick meets with NASA employees as well as Arthur C. Clarke. Pretty damning photograph. 3 years before the first moon landing, Kubrick just happens to be running with NASA and a well-known author of science fiction books, who also predicted satellites in 1945. Arthur C. Clarke's work includes Childhood's End, which was made into a 3-part series on Sci-Fi Channel in 2015. Very interesting series with so-called aliens, but they look like the epitome of Satan, and they come to usher in the new golden age for humanity.
There is no need to be afraid.
In 1968, Arthur C. Clarke wrote 2001: A Space Odyssey. It was developed concurrently with Stanley Kubrick's film version. Fun fact, between 1968, when the movie was made, and 2001, when the movie takes place, that is exactly 33 years. They did the exact same thing with 9/11. The Twin Towers began construction in 1968, and they were knocked down in 2001, exactly 33 years later. Anyway, this not only served as practice for Stanley Kubrick, as he was given pointers on how space should be portrayed by Arthur C. Clarke, but this was also mental conditioning for the masses. 2001: A Space Odyssey was the #1 movie in the box office in 1968. And 1 year later, in 1969, Apollo 11 claims to land men on the moon for the first time. Later on in the same year, Apollo 12 lands men on the moon for the second time. Then in 1971, both Apollo 14 and 15 successfully land men on the moon. In 1972, both Apollo 16 and 17 also successfully land men on the moon. So that's 6 successful moon landings between 1969 and 1972. And it just suddenly stops there. From then on, most of the world believes that NASA really goes to a place called outer space, and anyone that disagrees is an ignorant conspiracy nut lacking in education. It's not all their fault, though. The propaganda is rampant. In 1981, MTV launches and does their first broadcast with the use of NASA imagery.
7, 6, 5, 4. We've gone for main engine start. We have main engine start.
Ladies and gentlemen, rock and roll.
MTV even uses an astronaut on the moon as the logo for movies. And they give out the astronaut statue for Best Music Video Award. This is because MTV is ran by Freemasons. They even operate out of a Freemasonic temple. You see, NASA is also a Masonic entity. Most, if not all, NASA astronauts belong to a lodge, like our buddy Buzz Aldrin here.
Oh, NASA's faking everything that you have ever seen. And as for flying to the moon, well, they ain't never been. Indeed, my friend, their lying scum is there for you to see. Just take some time, look into it, and the truth will set you free. And finally it was clear to me to why these bastards lie. And finally it was clear to me about the reasons why. It's all about control, you know, to get inside your head. It's true satanic mind control from the Freemasonic gang. You see, it's only Freemasons that get to go to space. They're the evil bastards who are lying to your face. Yeah, NASA's pretty evil, man. The whole thing is such a fraud. The only reason they exist is to hide a loving God. Oh, NASA's faking everything that you have ever seen. And as for flying to the moon, well, they ain't never been. Indeed, my friend, their lying scum is there for you to see. Just take some time, look into it, and the truth will set you free. Yeah, NASA's pretty evil, man. They're a lying scumbag. Take some time, man. Look into it. I did. Now my mind is truly blown.
Freemasons are just drudges in the grand scheme of things. They do a lot of grunt work for the grand deception and the New World Order. So when you're looking at this timeline, this is the timeline of deception with the space programs of the world, pretending like outer space is a real thing.
When you realise NASA, NASA they got 19.3 billion in taxpayers' money this year, and all they have to do is enough of Hollywood to give us enough photos and stories and hypnotise us and connect with our inner child.
And so they send these rockets up, but they don't really go anywhere.
Yeah, if you watch the trajectory,
Right.
it's never straight. It's never straight.
Sorry to tell you. The only thing that's been to space is your imagination. There is no such thing as space.
Where are you going?
This world is sound asleep. Deceived at every turn, with no perception of reality. Because our reality was hidden from us. Hidden by those who run this world. Who runs this matrix we call reality. Do you think this is real? Or this? All mankind has been deceived. And we have been from the very beginning. Even those who think they are running it all. Those who think they are fooling the masses. With the CGI and smoke and mirrors. In the end, they are the ones who have fallen for the biggest lie. Because I'm pretty sure worshipping Lucifer doesn't pay. No, seriously.
People are going around saying, no, mainstream media is all lies. And that is bullshit. And the fact that people think that is extremely worrying. But it's one of the other terrible effects of the internet. That the truth, it is out there, but it may never again be discerned.
But also, would you seem to be going backwards? Like you talk in the book about how we now have to listen to people saying the Earth is flat.
Yeah. Yes, that's one of the pieces in there is about the new Flat Earth International Conference. It isn't a conference from the 14th century. This is a conference that started, I think, in 2017. And it is a growing thing, and that's because people are so contrarian, people are so willing to believe unsubstantiated things that have websites, that they are now going back on the conclusion we have all rightly drawn about the shape of the planet we live on. And that people are sort of going, and by people I mean idiots, are saying, I'm a questioning person, so why am I going to go along with this idea that the world is round? Well, I'll tell you why. Because people went up in a rocket, looked out of the window, and took a bloody photo.
Starship Enterprise just vaporized your dinky lunar module.
Fred, don't be a dork. It can't vaporize a lunar module. The Enterprise isn't even real.
It's just as real as yours.
This is not a toy. It's a 1/50th scale replica of the Apollo 11 spacecraft. The Enterprise is imaginary.
Yeah, well, my dad says this whole moon thing's a scam anyway. They fake it in Hollywood with cameras and stuff.
No way. That's